La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. What's up, everybody? Malik Atala here, and today is my Spahn Ranch episode of my Charles Manson series. Today, we're gonna be talking about that, but first, Leslie Van Houten. Leslie Van Houten was from Monrovia and went to high school. She was from an affluent family and was the homecoming princess at her school. She was also in a music band and played instruments. When her parents divorced, she missed her father and it left a space in her life. She got into a crowd of drug-using teenagers and became very seasoned in LSD. From all accounts, she was the perfect all-American type girl. Her family broke down and she found solace in other places. She ended up having an affair which resulted in a pregnancy and an abortion. She was in a vortex and in a void. But her upbringing could not have been more perfect. So one time she met these people, she ran into drugs, sex, breaking away from the norm. She met people that were going up and down the coast, and she ended up at Spahn Ranch. This is where Manson and the other girls set up, and it was their base of operation ever since coming from LA to San Francisco. Susan Atkins found the place. It was an old movie set and ranch filled with barns, stables, and phony buildings. It was an old, rundown movie location that cowboy movies were shot in the early 60s. It had mountains in the back, and it was located 20 miles from downtown Los Angeles. You took Santa Susana Pass, and you were there, Spahn's Ranch. It was owned by George Spahn, an elderly man. Manson and his family went and offered to help the old man with his horses, the chores, and to take care of the place in return to let them stay there. The girls like Sandy and Lynette took care of old George Spahn. He gave them things to do, and it's said that Squeaky Fromm took care of him much of the time, giving him hand jobs and cooking and cleaning. But it was only 20 miles from Los Angeles, but in living standards, it was a couple light years away. Manson and his family smoked pot, and he preached he preached and played music to them. They had no clocks, they had no lights, no electronic devices or worries, no intellectual conversations in the air. The philosophy was that they were living in the present, in the now. The followers let go of their pasts and were renamed from Charlie. Susan was Sadie, Patricia was Katie, Lynette was Red, and Sandy was Blue. Many other members were also there, like Mary Bruner, Gypsy, Nancy Pittman, Cappy Gillis, Kitty Lutzinger, and Ruth Ann Morehouse. These girls were part of the family and got to follow Manson follow Manson in different ways. Nancy Pittman dropped out saying, "My family and all was..." These girls were part of the family and got to follow Manson in different ways. Nancy Pittman dropped out saying, "My family and I, all we had in common was sharing the same roof, so I left." Also, there was Diane Lake, who came from a hippie family and abandoned her, and she fell in with Manson. She was only 15. Also, Barbara Hoyt. She was a key player in the Manson trial, turning state's evidence eventually. These women's sole purpose was to cater to the men and their needs. Mary Bruner had a baby at Spahn Ranch and did not go to a doctor. Everyone helped with the delivery of her child, Pooh Bear. While in labor, Manson slit a hole for the baby to come out of carefully, and he plopped out. He then hopped up and bit the umbilical cord off. Then he took a guitar string and tied the baby's tummy so it wouldn't bleed all over the place. It took place in a barn, and all of the family members witnessed the miracle. That was their lifestyle. Charlie said that doctors were only good for curing the clap. When his son Pooh Bear got a bit older, he would swing him around upside down, supposedly to get rid of all his fear at an early age. Pooh Bear kept crying, but Manson did it anyway, and he was insistent to cure all his fear. Spahn Ranch was, quote, a magical mystery tour. Every day was Halloween. The girls and guys played cowboys and Indians, and everything was childlike. It was hippie heaven. They would take LSD and would go in the forest and play elves, and they would chase fairies. Their imagination ran wild, and without knowing it, they were slowly falling under Manson's spell. The subversion of sexuality broke down their ego. He realized they would listen to him if they had no ego. The renaming was all a part of giving up your belief system. People submitted to the philosophy willingly, being childlike and being free. Everything you ever learned in school, by your parents, by society, was wrong. People gave up their egos willingly. People worked on disbelieving and unlearning everything that they were taught. At Spahn Ranch, you couldn't bring up your past at all. By doing this, you could see how Manson had the opportunity to implant his own idea and philosophies into the minds of his young followers. He then ended up basically having no opinions. He took away their conscience of right and wrong, as well as their values. Manson was so powerful when he came on and so articulate that they instantly converted people, like the draw of him singing with his guitar. His followers needed him to be a father-like figure and a guru, and they created that for themselves. Manson needed followers and people to listen to him, so they both got what they both needed from each other. Manson implanted his own philosophy into his followers' minds by using powerful drugs like LSD. He would go right in, and while they were tripping, he would reprogram them, saying things like, your parents were wrong about everything else, so maybe death is a beautiful thing. Death is not wrong, and killing is not wrong. Basically, at Spahn Ranch, everybody was under Manson's control. He dominated them, and he was very powerful personality. He was very clear and very, very convincing that he was Christ, and he was somebody that they looked up to. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about Spahn Ranch more, on how Charlie convinced them and used the Beatles and Revelation 9, how he convinced his followers that he was indeed Jesus Christ. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.